Right, here we go. 2v2 leagues first season playoffs. Best of 5 between Rookie Warriors and itowerrush. 11th and lowest division. These are the maps they've chosen. So first pick Bedouins. Classic nomad map for um, itowerrush. And first pick for Rookie Warriors is Baja Bay. Another nomad start. A new one for the occasion by made by Colin. Introduced by me for this season. It's competitive play before, to my knowledge. So it should be fun to see how that one plays out. The bands, we have 4 seasons. 2TC start chaotic map out of the question. As is Rova, another new map by Marinto. And then Arena, closed map, but not as unfamiliar as Rova. Being picked as a second Pog as well. Nice hybrid map. It's chaotic in the middle there for Rookie Warriors. And Socotra and Monocle off the menu, leaving us with Eastern Coastline to start. Where we should expect to see some strong naval civilization for the uh, one of the players, at least. Armenians could probably do decent for both if you can get to control water first, then get to the mainland and use the composite boat. But we have plenty of good water hybrid civilizations here that might see play Japanese, Persians, Portuguese. Okay, warriors. Ali comes to mind, Bengalis as well. Like kind of a flexible civilization in that sense as well. Just hop into the game and see what they bring us here. So, playing for Rookie Warriors in the yellow and on the water with the Vikings. We have DHR 10398, from here on referred to as yellow. Most likely. Vikings, cheaper dock, team bonus, should benefit both players. And yeah, longbow possibly as the game moves on. I mean, there's plenty of resources on your starting island, a bit like your starting island on Migration or Islands and these kinds. But obviously, you need to transport to get to the land to help your teammate with the land aggression. So if the other team controls the water situation, then you are in trouble. And as suspected for itowerrush, we have Armenians picked here. So, late game demolition ships, very powerful as the unique technology increases their damage output. And early game, galleys, I think, shooting arrows. And as mentioned, on land, strong unit in the composite bowman, if you can get to that one. A ranged unit from the R Knight as the Lithuanians on land here. Gets a 100 food boost to start the game, should make it easier to keep the TC running until you could stabilize your food income. While Haumat is playing as the Georgians in the blue here, starting with the mule cart. Strong cavalry civilization, starts with slightly less food, so a bit awkward to start with the Georgians, but as long as you avoid enough villagers to food to begin with, you should be fine. Quick look at the scouting and the progress here. I think we'll speed this one up a little bit to see what the next age brings us, as this map will probably have a relatively slow start. Players looking for places to place their first dock. Overall, villager population and progress seems to be even so far, but we know that can change with aggression. Our knight already walling off a bit, expecting the Georgians to open with the scout rush maybe. Ooh.
Yes.
Did we break the game with break the game with the speed up here? I don't think so. Few lasers on the way. Now let's slow it down back to normal and see comes our way. First dock in place for the Vikings. Also a very early transport ship, so there might be some scouts, archers approach here for rookie warriors. Green player also got a dock. Did not produce any, well, doesn't have the feudal age to produce naval units, military units yet, but we're getting there. Could actually more of a fast calculation approach looking at the population here. So 28 population up, but 4 on gold does suggest some kind of galleys play. Second dock is going up here and again suggesting that some kind of military is to be made on water. Still just making the fish for DHR, but queuing the galleys behind. Only one dock though. So that's something the Armenians player could take advantage of with double docks production, going for the fire galleys. Not a bad shout, but the Vikings galleys could hit and run, hit and float if you will, against the fire ships. That's an issue to consider. Paumat out with the blue scout of his over here sees the stable going up, so that confirms that our knight is also going for scouts opening here. Did not queue any huge lot of scouts just yet, actually going into spearman defense more so. Keeps those 3 scouts alive for now. Particular damage with his own scout just yet. No economic units lost just yet. In fact, just 1 unit killed by Palmat, which can't have been a villager. Has to have been the starting scout of our knight. Then maybe does commit to the attack here, but there are 5 spearmen defending here for our knight. So instead of investing into scouts, goes into spearman defense. Chooses to fight the spearman. Does lose 2 of the scouts in the process. So that is an expensive scouts investment in that regard. Spearman just not really doing much. Let's have a look at the water situation here. DHR taking out, well, that's just a scouting fishing ship, I guess. 3 docks, all producing for FGZB. If you get close enough to the galleys with fire galleys, that's bad news for the Vikings player over here. Yep, goes right down. That's a very efficient trade, and the fish could be going down to the yellow player as well. Doesn't have all that much space to micro these galleys away. So great aggression from the Armenians thus far. A bit surprising to see the fire galleys rather than the galleys from the Armenians, as galleys would be playing more to the civilization's strength. Again, scouts not getting too much value here. 3 to 5 KD. Water situation well under control for FZGB. Here we go. Now 6 fire galleys out, taking out 2 docks of the HR, which means that the HR will struggle to get to the mainland if the green player keeps it this way. There is a dock from Paumat, so Paumat could help win the water back at some point. For now, just fishing. Something that green actually hasn't scouted, so that's essentially free food for the blue player for now. That could backfire, but as it stands, itowerrush are winning on water. However, Paumat has been doing decent damage on land with 5 kills. But yeah, this is bad news for the HR. At this point, the fire galleys is a needless investment. There's massive control of the water now. Even half of the current fire galleys number would be plenty here. Some demos popping out for the Vikings, but as long as FGZB has their eyes open, this shouldn't really be any of any particular concern. Out and looking for damage for our knight. Walls nearly complete for Pau Mat though. Could also wall to the edge of the map. Vikings player incapacitated on water, which makes... could have this game turned into a 2 vs 1 on land in not too long here. So looks like a solid approach from itowerrush here. I was going to say Bruce, but that's just wrong. Still looking for a point of entry. Didn't invest into more field age army for now. Looks like the castle age is approaching. Poundbat already on the way there though, with 17 farms and how many fish? 3 fish. And some short fish being collected as well. Should be plenty decent to invest into cavalry on land. And the castle age kicks in. So itowerrush with a lead going into the castle age as well. But green keeps investing into water, which I personally think is a wasteful move. But castle age is on the way, so still going to beat the Vikings player comfortably to the next stage. And heck, you could even land on the HR's island and conquer them, eliminate them, because they can't really get to the mainland in any way. Trying to walk towards the edge of the map here. Nice of it. Desperately trying to get the docks back up for the Vikings player, but green doing great work at stopping that from being an option. At this point, if you want to invest into more naval military, you have to invest into galleys at this point. That way you could deny essentially any woodline almost with more galleys in the castle age here. So fire galleys needs to stop. Green needs to produce galleys and fire galleys. And all of a sudden, yellow will be completely out of the game. Yeah, red still trying to find a point of entry here. Second stable going up here for the Georgians player. Should make quick work with the scouts. Georgians going for cavalry play shouldn't be a surprise here. Obviously, our knight sees the stone being collected here, so he expects the Georgians castle and the Monas platoon to turn up at some point as well. Again, dogs going up for the Vikings player, desperately trying to claw their way back into the game, making more demolition rafts, which means that it shows the need for war galley finally being researched here. So green switching into a ranged option on water now, leaving Paumat to eventually be fighting a 2 vs 1. But now this is just a 1 vs 1 really. Second town center for our knight. Lithuanians also getting a bonus 100 food, is it? Once you get your next town center up. Now finally the last few fish going down as well. The flags should be a warning sign here, but it's going to be field age demolition crafts against castle age fire ships, so you can't really take them out in one hit. You're going to need more of those. So docks still going up. The HR not struggling for resources just yet. Center now for Pau Mat as well, up top on the stone. More castles coming their way. Castle almost on the hill here, unless maybe it counts for the hill bonus, that little one there. Pikeman skirmish events for our knight, so going to conserve that gold. Monastery is up as well. First relic should easily be collected at least, but in the meantime, our green friend has landed some villagers and will be establishing some presence on land to help their teammate take out the red player. Castle securing the gold near the shore for the HR here. Could be a way to return. Dropping some docks right next to the castle so that any naval aggression can't... Yeah, you can't stop these docks from going up. Could maybe delay them a little bit with some more galleys. That still hasn't been researched, to be fair. But yellow, for now, still stuck on the island. I guess you could patrol this side and still keep yellow from getting to the mainland. Yeah, some ships patrolling the shoreline over here from green as well. Good means to try and stop any transport ship from yellow to reach the mainland. Longboats in the making. Could this be the Vikings' comeback on water? I guess to keep this from happening, comeback on water, the yellow comeback, you need to invest into some kind of siege unit on water for the Armenians. Boats should easily be able to deal with the fire ships. They can just hit and run almost infinitely. Meanwhile, on land, few Monaspa in the queue here, mainly knights for the Georgians for the time being, but stopped producing military for now, maybe investing more into the boom. Our knight with the third town center now seems to have a just as established boom as the blue player, to be fair. So there might still be comeback potential for warriors on land here. All depends on how yellow manages to deal with the situation on water. So one of the mistakes for itowerrush was to massively overcommit on water in the early feudal age. Green here could have had a much larger economy or a larger presence on land with fewer fire ships after initially winning the naval battles. It's already set back yellow a lot, but it set back their own economy, having invested that much into the armies. Now yellow is clawing their way back here. But okay, I guess we're not running out of gold anytime soon for yellow either. Should be enough to get a decent chunk of longboats out of the field. So wait, how much here now? How many units out? Knights, Monaspa getting some serious damage down here now. 14 builders killed, establishing a massive builder's lead over red. Castle, that's the second castle going up. We're close to the castle. Monaspa as well, probably. Extending the boom, another town center. And yeah, some serious damage being done by the knights here. The Monaspa, as they grew up with more cavalry units, their stats increase as well, so this is bad for the Lithuanian player. Will be losing production capabilities here. Has a defensive castle, but the economy fairly work our knight here, and the will be looking at the reason. Vikings according to the mainland for DHR now. Remains to be seen whether that could be berserkers or arbalists or both. But is enough snow for a castle here? Could this be the comeback for yellow? That is a lot of long boats that could admittedly also do decent damage to green's starting island. There's no stopping that. Yellow is about to establish some presence, but I think Knight's trying a desperate forward castle here. One which blue doesn't need to be too concerned about. Could send them on a spine and stop this. Or at the very least force some of our knight's attention away, but might be too committed forward here, or just not seeing the castle going up. That's one of the farmers over here. Not having close to 47 villagers. It's going to take some serious commitments to get back into the game here, even with a super aggressive forward castle like this. There's just barely any economy to produce military from, and that's going to make it so hard to withstand the power of the two armies over here. Center for yellow, refusing to give in. Long boats, cleaning up the green armies again. Still committed to fire ships. I guess it's... If you mass up a good chunk of them and then get to the Imperial Age past fire ship, provided Armenians get them. They don't, but they got strong demolition ships at least. Yeah. But yeah, had they had access to fast fire ship, that would have been a different story. They could have done well against the long boats getting close enough. Our knights down to 27 villagers. Yellow going to the Imperial Age, but most of the economic presence is on the starting island and the naval military. It's a impressive mass of longboats, but they can't reach much farther than here, so they're not going to be very helpful on land with Palmat's cavalry raiding our knight to death here. Surely this has to be the GG at some point. Forward castle, yes, but only villagers inside of there taking out maybe one town center here, and these few attacking rams might just be enough to take that. Even not need the Imperial Age and Trebuchet here to close this one out. I think this game is in itowerrush's hands. And build that for our knight. I think they're all over here. Well, that's so all except one builder. It's the last hurrah here, fighting to the very death. Only got 4 villagers left. And town center not really producing anything, no. Admittedly, strong against Vikings, but should never in any world be enough to bring this game back on the feet for warriors. Of course, with the HR now in the Imperial Age, you could sling resources to your teammate. There are only 2 left for our knight, and if it goes down, and if the remaining few villagers go down as well, where they are hiding, here's one. Then it doesn't help if you're being slung resources because you barely have the means to produce any unit. So hanging on there, hoping to get back into the game somehow, I guess. Since the HR is at 100 population, now going to drop a castle somewhere, presumably. Yeah, I don't know where these guys are going. Maybe it's a ritual sacrifice just before ending the game here. Really don't know what the idea is here. Looking for stone, looking for Runs it. Ay. Ay, ay, ay. Heavy Scorpion from the Armenians, because why not? And they also have, well, they actually don't have ballistics to benefit with, but hey, Heavy Scorpion or Heavy Scorpion, I know it. Oh, it's Castle. It's the play yourself out of the game castle. One castle to end them all. It's not imp into GG, it's a castle into GG, one would presume. And this castle is just never, ever going to complete. And oh, our knight asks for food. It's not ready to give up yet. They do have a collected 138 still. High number, close to 300. Military count. To be fair, it's 70 to 42. The problem is that 40 of those are on the water. They are longboats. And this castle also not going. Where do you go? There. There are 4 more villagers on land for the HR. Plenty of boats, so they are the lords of the sea here. Could add a couple of cannon galleons and at the very least take out the Armenians starting island here, which would free up some gold, so that could be an approach to regain some resource to produce whatever you're thinking about. 4 villagers now, 4 red. I swear I'm going to eat my socks if rookie warriors find their way back from this game. Just can't happen. Like to lose the castle. He's really going to reach defeat here, isn't he? Harini Baumat had plenty of dots going up as well, so wants to join the naval fights to close this game out. Counter going down. Last few villagers going up for our knight as well, and this villager is still hiding over here. Yeah, hiding behind the houses. Cosplaying as a villager there, but wasn't allowed to enter the house by like look. One, zero. 0 military. 1, 41. Plenty of military for green as well, some heavy scorpions on land. They're going to put every single red on they. And now they could even deny any further yellow expansion on land. There is a chunk here, but not really going to help much. They've even... Okay, they're probably just looking for remnants of red here. Our knight is fighting to the bitter end, just wanted to take out absolutely everything. Not give up until the very last breath. This is all that is left of our knight in the red. You started with the town center of land over here. Yellow, losing more villagers. Still fighting the glorious naval battles over here. Bulk can't really... Well, doesn't really have the fast fire ship numbers yet. I thought rush, but what's going on now? Okay, they see the last chapter. Our knight, will it be the... Will Palma see the last villager hiding in the between the houses here? Maybe we could take it out with the trebuchet, huh? That would be style. Taking out the very last bit of population of our knight with a bunch of trebuchets. Oh, here comes one last. Who gets it first? Trebuchet or villager? He's walled in. The cap, but the trebuchet's cap. Or they can make it opening, which works as well. That's stylish, but I think it's market's going up as well. GG well played is called. First game goes to itowerrush in a game that admittedly could be considered over. Being considered over. 20 minutes ago. 20 real time minutes, but it is what it is. First game for itowerrush, which will lead us to most likely to Rookie Warriors home map next. So quick glance at the statistics before moving on to the next one. Population graph here, green and blue, steadily increasing. And yellow with naval investment on water. That's deceiving because of the high amount of longboats. Right. Armenians and Georgians, new civilizations, relatively new civilizations, taking that, while Vikings and Lithuanians are on the defeated end. First game done, which will send us to Baja Bay or Hague next. So maybe we'll see the new Nomad map in action here. Game Baja Bay. You can already see the civilizations being chosen here. Baja Bay it is. Let's start from the corner here to show what these things are. These are oysters. You featured in the game 2.5 years ago or so back. I don't remember. Maybe it's been longer. But now, if you have antiquity mode enabled, you can use fishing ships to gather oysters for gold. Villagers can still collect them if they're close to the land like this, so several options to collect them. There's plenty of deep fish on this map, and you want to control the water to expand to these extra sources of stone and gold eventually. But in the beginning of the game, you need to drop your town center, and we see Palmat and FGZ settling right next to the wood lines as you usually go on Nomad starts. You should have enough wood to drop a dock instantly as well. So that could hopefully be done close to the starting points here. Meanwhile, Rookie Warriors are moving further away, far, far away, scouting for alternative food sources here. These berries are going to give a decent start to the game. There's some shortfish as well, so they must have had some other approach in mind. Don't want to have those early close games or opera-esque fights. That's probably why they're moving further away. But the H are struggling even to get the town center. Three houses. Okay, should be okay. Still looking for a town center spot. We did adjust this with Colin in the early stages of the, or before launching the league. I wanted to make sure that it should be relatively easy to find a town center spot. Most people would want to settle near the woodline anyway, but the HR is still looking, could have to do with the village response as well, but the map is always like this. There's always going to be these three woodlands in the middle, and it's always going to look somewhat like this. So it should still, you shouldn't have to be walking around and scouting like this. Look at how far the yellow player is going to fall behind here. Still looking for a TC spot. Hopefully might find it something similar to our knight over here, but it's being set so far back. 7 villagers for Palmat already with the Mongols, but the hunt bonus Mongols as well, collecting food at a faster rate. still didn't find the easy spot. What is this? 6 villagers behind already for Recure Warriors, and yellow does now have the town center up. This is not a great look, and it's even their home map, this one. Oh, yeah, it's painful as well, just looking. This could be a short game. Um, if that TC just never goes up, it's just going to hide away to do a surprise TC drop and hit both these players or something at some point. But at least finding some sheep, but very, very slow and unfortunate start for DHR here. What is going on? Oi, 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 oi. At least still has the wood for DC, even after building a few houses. I think that was our knight flaring the last villager. Finally found a spot right next to some berries. Wood is going to be a massive issue though, unless they know where to look for the wood sources, which is in the middle here. They haven't scouted it yet. They need to get to the middle there for expansion. Decent amount of sheep, so that should make the way towards H a lot easier. Up a little bit. This should be a huge advantage for itowerrush. If you look at Peter's progression here, first just now in the making, almost 9 minutes into the HR. Really tough itowerrush. They might be in the castle even before the Korean player reaches the good late point. Scouts should be powerful now because yellow won't be able to make any spearmen to defend it again, at all. While our knight at least has a decent start with the Bengalis here. But still going for the shore fish. Will eventually be able to find the deep fish as well, but now going to slow it down a bit again because Palmat just about to complete the barracks here. 24 villagers total, and will be dropping the stable as soon as that feudal age kicks in. Going to be the scouts opening for Mongols. Very, very little scouting here for itowerrush. Since they didn't move into the city area, they also didn't find any sheep to scout the map. But now with the scouts from the blue player here, should be a relatively easy task to find the opponents. 12 villagers now for yellow, falling significantly behind here, but at least their teammate is up to the next age. Wood is going to be an issue though, because as our knight tries to expand and find a wood line, he risks running into masses of Mongols scouts that are in the queue right now. There we go. Second dog for our knight. You know what? When our knight gets to the feudal age, he could make demolition ships and get some proper damage in on the woodlands of Paumat and FG Dead here. Granted, it's close to town centers, but you could be able to get some demolition ships in on the woodlands here, and that would still do massive damage to the economy, both for the fish and the wood income here. See, fishing ships gathering gold. What's the gathering rate? No. Yeah, seems relatively similar to villagers. 15 gold at a time, so a little bit more than a generic villager will carry without any upgrades. Now, scouts need to move around and find damage here, otherwise that investment is a waste. We're not going to see the HR providing any dangerous military anytime soon though. And this is the issue for Ornate, as mentioned earlier. You need to find better woodlands at some point. This is super inefficient and you'll be walking a lot further to get anywhere. Up power mat maybe. Limiting the scouts production in an effort to get to the castle age more smoothly instead. Still missing a lot of food. No, still scouts in the queue. He's going to commit to the feudal age armies here, whereas his teammate is going to go more straight towards the castle age. Could the Japanese cavalry archers on the menu here, perhaps? The barracks is up. But you could even justify going down heights for itowerrush because they have such a huge lead. There are 20 villagers ahead at minute 18 and they haven't even killed anything more than just one villager. Red panicking away here, but Palmat luckily finds they have no escape. These villagers have to fight the scouts with their bare hands there, which is fine, but our knight doesn't go for that approach. Tries to run away instead, going to lose one. Possibly two villagers here, unless he chooses to fight with the villagers, which he doesn't want to. Yeah, rough game on Baja Bay for Rookie Warriors here, but we've seen their fighting spirit in the previous game. They're not giving until the very last hit has been taken. Are left with some galleys on water as well. Yeah, that works as well. Demolition ships work. Galleys will also work, but admittedly, you could take out the ships on this terrain with mounted units for land as well. So technically, you could send the scouts in and take out the galleys. They don't have that much hit points. So even if in a pinch, you could definitely take out the fish at least, which is exactly what Powmat is doing over here. Yellow, reaching the feudal age, going to go for some villagers of gold. So that does suggest archers, perhaps. Villagers now fighting off the scouts. Okay, so still going to lose a few more villagers here, maybe. Our knight, both of itowerrush's players going to the castle age here. I think they prepared the maps well. They seem to have a plan here. You saw it from the early content that they wanted to go there from the very get-go, and they got exactly that as well. Going down, galleys getting kind of weak as well. Our knight not really producing much ability. A couple of spearmen with the HR, so going to defend off any scouts coming their way. Stable now for the Koreans, opting for some mobility. Sorry, that the blacksmith looked like a stable for whatever reason. Yeah, so blacksmith market for the HR. Might need to sell stone here to go to the next stage, but wants to get to the war. Is it? No, is it war wagons anymore? Yeah, anyway, wants to get a castle up with the Koreans. Can't quite keep up with the new Koreans situation here. Economic expansion from Powmat, now moving down the middle. TC on the gold for FGZB. Probably out of necessity, not just unfortunate planning to have some walking distance for the gold there, but still keeps the villagers and gold income safe. Another town center on the wood line, so getting a decent economic advantage here. That's only going to escalate now as long as Rookie Warriors still stuck in the feudal age. Are not moving out right next to Palmat's area here, right next to where a stable is going up for the Mongols. Are we going to see some step lancers added as well? There they are. And yes, it is indeed the cavalry archers of the Japanese. Our knight backing off, isn't even in the castle age yet, just looking for a place to get a wood line working here. At least blue doesn't have it scouted. so they might get wood uninterrupted for a while. Will help the progress a little bit, but this game, I mean, the first 5 games, the backlog is like now fighting. Step Blasters with Villagers, surprisingly efficient even with the defense of the Blasters, but still going to mean Villagers lost. Our Knight has managed to take out some economic units as well, but Powmat having invested a little something into the water situation here now will take out whatever our Knight can produce. Will drift on water. There's a 2 versus 1 situation on Powmat now. I think it's only 1 archery range of cavalry archers. No, there's 2, but only 1 of them producing. Now green notices and will pop out cavalry archers out of 2 archery ranges now. Missing all the upgrades, missing fletching, missing armor, but still have and mobility to coordinate together with the red player, having lost 23 villagers thus far. Okay, smart move to move the villagers to the backside here, even going to take even longer for them to spot. Yellow going to attempt a very aggressive castle here, sort of a repeat of what we saw the previous game. There aren't any ability here to stop that from going up, and there is a chance that Powmat won't see it going up. Oh. Yeah, yellow commits. Quick wall, quick wall, quick wall, quick wall, quick wall. Question mark, quick wall. Roughly the same amount of villagers, but Spearman joining in here as well. So that castle is going to go up. Powmat doesn't seem too worried about that. Just moves the economy way elsewhere. He knows they're in the lead. They have twice the villagers. They have a military lead as well, and they have raids going on red, so our knight will struggle to get any efficient economy rolling here. War wagons from the Koreans' castle, but what's the economy like? There's not really any gold to consistently produce war wagons for the yellow player. Could maybe get the dock up, or even place some builders here to, what should I say, mine the oysters? University Monster going up, suggesting that the green player will be heading towards the Imperial Age. Where are the upgrades for the Cavalry Archers? So 14 Cavalry Archers on the field, no pledging, no ballistics, no defense. Not strictly needed or necessary at this point, but still. Anything that to boost the stats will make them take out villagers and buildings and military even more quickly. Yeah, here comes the dock. Could be that Yellow is planning to take the oysters, if they know that the oysters can be collected by fish. That would be a welcome gold source for the HR, who isn't currently collecting any gold just now. Tasking some villagers to gold. Topside, cavalry archers at it again. Is this going to be an Imperial Age Samurai piece or something from green? Let's have the resource set up. No, still heavy on the wood and gold. Imperial Age on the way. Really needs to get some eyes on that blacksmith. Get fletching and botkin arrow in. It's going to boost the stats so much. It's always a good shout as well. We'll have the cavalry archers fire more accurately. But yeah, blacksmith upgrades, people. I wonder if green even has one, or has he forgotten to build a blacksmith overall? Might have forgotten to build a blacksmith. Yeah, I don't. No blacksmith. I think green has forgotten to build a blacksmith. And see, that's what happens when you don't get these resources in. Then the town center will do a lot more damage to any unit, any ranged or any of the cavalry archers or archers if they don't have the armor researched. Still got 11 cavalry archers working. Yellow has found these oysters, gold over here, so I think some gold income to produce some more war wagons. Only 2 of them out and about, making some fire galleys as well. Wants to deal with some of Green's fishing ships by the looks of it. Let's have a look at their scouting as well. Yeah, the scouting is relatively similar between the players. The archers out raiding again. Bengalis now 34 villagers lost, and I think there's only 7 villagers respectively for rookie warriors. They're outnumbered massively in both economy and military. In the middle, green is in the Imperial Age, which should make it relatively easy to make quick work with this castle. There's 700 or so stone in the bank, meaning that green can afford the castle. Should be down somewhere around here, just to take out any yellow presence over here. Take out the castle until the yellow can't make this tree or different aggression on distant. Right, Fire Galley getting some value here. 4 economic kills will take out more fish, so now Green's Castle going up on... Is it actually the only top letter of our knight? It actually looks like that's the case. Mainly in booming what now for Pau Matt. The blackers are out, and if they find this gold source, that's going to be huge. Village losses. Again, yellow at 61 villagers. Almost the same as blue, but blue is going to the Imperial Age. Yellow, obviously, nowhere near that transition. I think that castle will complete. Wicked Warriors. I struggle to see any compact here. This castle will still stay up for a while, but stone-wise, Palmat can have the stone for another now. Has the castle here already. Should be able to afford a trebuchet or even 2 trebuchets immediately upon reaching Imperial Age. That should be the end of this castle, and no more war wagons for the Koreans. Popping out from Rams, hope to take out that castle in time before the trebuchets maybe, but it's gonna be... Imperial Age, trebuchet in the queue indeed. Trebuchet fight not really an option for the yellow player. And are not still in the feudal age. I didn't realize he's not even going to be able to expand report. They're still stuck in the feudal age. Suffering from some early 2 vs 1 pressure, of course. Hard to recover from, but still. That Lord might find himself in a position of near defeat again. You can see the wood line being flared over there. So probably the teammate telling him that he needs to watch his villagers in case the step lancers come that way. Second trebuchet on the way out as well. Well covered by the castle. Even walling them in, so units can't get close to take them out. Rams trying to battle down the castle. These step lancers are here. Stop that from happening. Yellow is going to lose the one and only castle. Can absolutely not afford a new one. Also can't afford to repair it. So that castle will be going down. Just a few more mounted units, military now for power mat, and these war wagons should be history. Looks like green finally remembered the black as well, so the 46 heavy cavalry archers now have essentially full upgrades. Let's have a look and see if... Where's chemistry? There's chemistry. Chemistry is here. So GG well played is called. This all boils down to the very beginning of the game, I think, with the placement of town centers. Real toughy when you don't get the town center completed until minute 9 on Nova starts, and suddenly starting at a 8, 9, 10 villagers disadvantage. Real tough one. Steady. 3 increase here for FGZB. I don't even have lost that many military units. Let's have a look. 48. Yeah, so 2 to 1 KD ratio. Same for Palmat. Good stats there. Economically ahead from the very get-go, because they did get their town centers up earlier. See green and blue lines here, just well ahead all the way. Tough one on Baja Bay for Baja. I don't know if it's Baja or Baja. Just strikes me as a Spanish sounding name. I should look that up. That is a 2-0 for itowerrush. That is a 1 home map down for Rookie Warriors. And it's the Japanese and Mongols taking the Nomad start win against Bengalis, was it? And Koreans. Potential finish the game now on Hog. Should they stick with their weapons? If it's not, then we're in for a surprise. But let's work out the assumption it's Hog here. Then we're going to see one strong naval and one strong land civilization. Malay, Spanish, Malay, Bohemians, something like that. Game 3 on Pog. We do see Malay in the and Pog. Huge landmass in the middle. Not possible to cross in the north or the south on the water, which incentives fighting both for land and water. On the right hand side here we do have a crossing. You could pass this with melee units, and that's where you need to go to get the more consistent huge wood source in the later game. There are some small patches of wood all over here to support your early game, but long term might be wise to control the water on this side so you could get to the wood sources somehow. Because if one team controls the water side on this side, you might not be able to pass through the hybrid terrain either. Left hand side, extra golden stones to the sides here. There's limited golden stone in the middle area here. It's like a front line style town center spawn as well, so it's going to be the red and blue closest to each other. Inspires different kinds of strategies. We could be seeing full on land aggression with scouts and archers here, or we could be seeing towers and castles, and then the back player committing more to water control. I suspect the main water focus will be on the right side. Just speed it up and have a look at that. Civilizations wise, We have Spanish for our knight. So Conquistadors comes to mind. Very open as well. Plenty of options. Malay for the HR. Fast lifetimes could benefit both land and water play. And we're looking to the left side for some fish collection for the Portuguese player here in the blue. Gold discounts on any gold costing unit as well. And Persians for Palmat, a famous hybrid civilization with faster working docks and town centers. Great economy for hybrid maps for the Persians. So similar approach from both sides here. Red and blue docking the left hand side. Yellow and green docking the right hand side. Now let's see if there's going to be any investment in military from the docks at all. No. And no. Nothing so far. Is there some such thing as aggressive walling? But it's quite far forward for the blue player. Which is of course going to work to their advantage if blue gets that one up. 28 population for the HR, so that could be an early cast list planned here, but the Feudal Age military of FGZ will meddle with that as well and stop that early stone collection. Could have been for some early towers as well. I wonder if Red is seeing the walls go up here. Not yet. Might be revealed now accidentally by the spearman. Yep, sees the gate. Fire galleys, fire galleys for Paumat. The docks work faster, remember, so Paumat's going to take some responsibility on water here, whereas our knight has gone for the Spanish galleys, so no straight Castle Age conquistadors after all. We'll have to fight for some control over the map first. Tree range for the Portuguese, so a lot of good late aggression on this map, known from the World Desert Championship. And if these walls complete for blue, it's going to be a gigantic advantage against any land aggression going their way. Alice hitting and running. Our knight should be in control of that one. Left side, no military investment from either side. Blue is committing on land here now with the spearman archer situation. We'll see how much is being committed here in the end. Behind this, we have Palmat almost able to click to the castle age already with the Persians. Massive economic advantage with Persians on these kinds of maps. Also getting value from the fire galleys. Might not win what this side, but will have a massive lead going into the castle age here to invest into cavalry on land to support the archers' aggression of the Portuguese, perhaps. And FGZ is also getting great value from small investments here. Manages to complete bots. Just completely cut. Still like some surprise landings, I suppose, when you have the docks up on the sides, but once again, rookie warriors find themselves on the defending side. Archers idling a lot of economy here. It's not a huge mass of army, it's only 6 military total, but it is forcing some kind of military investment from the HR, and the HR has been going for the scouts with the Malay, which is kind of a surprise. It's spears and archers, so An archery range and skirmishers would maybe have made more sense here. Then again, there's the mobility of the scouts that the skirmishers don't really have. Galleys on the water for our knight, got 8 of them now, so we'll still make an attempt at keeping Green busy on water here. Castle Age is in for power mat, opting mainly for economy here now with a second town center, where the Persian town centers will also be working 15% faster in the Castle Age. Going for careening, going for war galley, which means that ships will become fire ships, and they will also be getting extra armor against the feudal age galleys of our knight. Yes, still got the masses our knight, but the fire ships have more hit points and now more armor. It's going to be tough to defend against when they're nearly in equal numbers. It's 10 to 6, so you could still try to hit and run, but you'd have to constantly watch your boats. And at some points you can't really flee anymore either. If you get too close to the edge, you can't really float away. 10 archers and counting, double ranges for FGZ. Keeping the Malay player off stone, probably a conscious choice here to stop any Malay castles from going up and securing the middle. I mean, castles are huge in the middle here. It's a small land mass, so if you can get a couple of castles up here on these middle hills, then what's the other side supposed to do until the Imperial Age? Not much you can do. Unless you're humans and have cap traps in the Castle Age, possibly as well. Matt sending food to FGZB, which is allowed when you are in the age above. Fire ships versus fire galleys should be an easy one for Palmat here. Doesn't commit more. Okay, does commit a little bit more. Maybe a sensible choice to take these docks out, but the demolition rafts could also be of concern here. Wookiee warriors on the way to the Castle Age. They are closer in economy than in earlier games here. They're only like 10-15 villages behind, but they're also lagging behind in the progression to the next stage. So itowerrush still with some advantage here. Now when you're fighting a boat like this with fire ships and you suspect there could be demolition rafts, you want to spread out your ships more like Palmat is kind of doing now, because if you keep some distance, like a couple tiles distance between the ships, then the demolition rafts and ships will have much less effect, as they will only be damaging one ship as opposed to damaging 4 ships at once. Looks like Blue is attempting to be Saracens here. Taking out buildings with the archers, denying that stone again, which is huge, because if you're able to get a couple of the castles up on the middle area here, you are blocking off the entire land passage, especially against archers that will eventually become crossbows. We still have some time to go for that Castle Age, but itowerrush establishing a villager's lead here now. While entering the Castle Age, Blue slower to the Castle Age, slowest in fact, but also got a pretty decent military count here going into the Castle Age. So if these deep dirt and become crossbows, suddenly this farming economy is very exposed as well. Battle Elephants tanky in front of the skirmishers is a good addition, because the archers will need quite a few shots to take out those. And again, these blacksmith upgrades, we have Blue lacking fletching, lacking armor. Same for the multiplayer, no armor for the elephants or attack. Elite skirmishers against feudal age archers though, they should clean up these blue archers, no problem. Down goes the Spanish dock. Peter's desperately trying to repair. They're trying to find a place to repair out of range of the fire ships, but there is a tiny bit of range of those, so not really going to be any concern here. Good defense from the red player now. Take away the archers. Blue pulling them home to rescue the last few numbers to become crossbows, I guess. But get those blacksmith upgrades. Where is the blacksmith? It's even here. Get fletching. Get Bodkin arrow. Please. It makes them so much stronger. Of course, it's the first thing you forget in a stressful moment as well. Reaching the next stage. Focusing on your aggression and army micromanagement. A decent fish investment from the blue player here. That's going to bring in chunks of food to their benefit. Second town center for the Malay. Land aggression has come to an end for now, but now with the Persians cavalry entering the battlefield, that means that the elite skirmishers aren't nearly as powerful anymore. Pikemen front, yes, but I mean, it's not going to matter much with the Persians knight soon to have +2 armor to enter. I guess at this point, if you're problematic, you could also make a transport ship and make a surprise attack from the north here, because you're now controlling the right side. Left side is left peaceful, but also not really anything of significance here for the players to take out. Shouldn't be a priority at this point. I think I'd like to see some land siege added from either blue or green here now to push the red player further behind. Economy not great, having been under heavy aggression for most of the game for the Malay player. And the Spanish player managing to make it to the land and the fatter woodlands over here. Small patches of stone as well, which will allow for these castles to, or the Spanish castles to potentially go up. It's by no means over for Rookie Warriors yet. Once again, on the back foot and recovery mode here. It's good castle placement for blue, covering a huge patch of stone and gold. Cavalry numbers kind of lacking for Baumat for now, though. There are actually enough elite skirmishers here to deal with small numbers of knights. But it does work as a distraction to make sure that this castle does go up for the Portuguese player. Are we going to see the Organs here now? I think we might just do that. Portuguese castle goes up. Economy kind of set up for organ guns production. Not entirely sure if the castle ranges the town center, still lacking those ranged upgrades. But good. I blew it for the archers upgrade. Never planned to go into crossbows, just a few archers and then take the castle up and go into unique unit instead, which would use the same resources to produce the wood and gold. Here come the organ guns. Here we go. Here we go. While yellow is opting for the conquistadors. Oh, engaging with the organ guns. Leader Corland takes for a potential comeback on water for our knight as well, should he wish to do that. Plenty of resources in the bank to produce whatever unit of choice you might need. Meanwhile, Upland is entering the Imperial Age with 4 town centers in the back for the Persians. Massive economic advantage here. Also spends those resources to some extent. Food, gold. Could make use of more military production buildings at this point. See the Persians, they do get elite cannon galleon as well, so that would be a strategic move to get to that wall. Immediately able once you research chemistry. Organ gun number is increasing. We have 8 and counting, and a second castle for the blue player as well. Not currently using both castles to produce. It looks like the wood income is the bottleneck here. Will lead to maybe get a new lumber camp over here, or just expand to the far right side for further wood access. But the aggression is really pushing red further and further behind. The Edge are certainly showing a better game than the previous unfortunate one on Baja Bay. So Baja Bay. Again, left with like 10% on the map here for Rookie Warriors. That's going to be a toughie. Green and blue haven't really spotted that there's some Spanish presence on land to the right hand side, but they're having a steady push on the mainland here. Which means that whatever expansion to the wood side shouldn't be of much significance. Cavalier in for the Persians. Savar should be affordable very soon as well. Might want to opt for some more numbers first, but the Trebuchet is out. Only one player in the Imperial Age for now, but the Spanish player about to reach it as well. Not much left of Red's military at this point. Castle on the hill is taking a beating as well, unless Yellow can provide some trebuchets to join the war here, or maybe some Spanish cannon, bombard cannons. Chemistry is on the way. Bombard cannons comes to mind here to deal with trebuchets at the distance, but the organ guns number also increasing. I think both castles. Okay, they're not currently producing from both castles, but has the means to. Slow and steady push, while Red desperately tries to move to the side to get safe resource access on the still unoccupied spots. Why is the military size now for itowerrush? Savar in the making as well. Almost full blacksmith upgrades, only missing the last attack upgrade now. Last furnace. Conquistadors diving in, but to no avail here. They are melting against the organ guns, just like that. All of those conquistadors are down. 12 demolition ships in the docks for our knight. What's the devious plan here? It's going to try and lure the armies close to the shoreline and demolition them down? Maybe. More castles popping up on land. Or economy being blasted away by the organ guns. Now both castles producing as well. For blue, third castle going up further forward, allowing for reinforcements closer to the front. Castle's gonna complete. Not much Trebuchet can do about that. And before the Spanish castle goes down, the GG is called by the HR. Is a 3-0 for itowerrush. And congratulations on being the 11th and lowest division winners of 2v2 League's first season. Next season to be decided. Don't quite know yet. July, August at the very earliest. I'd have to say August maybe. But they are obviously welcome back, both teams. Always nice to have good spread of skill levels as well. 2v2 League's first seasons had lowest player being lower than 500 ELO 1v1 and the highest one in the first division close to 2500 1v1. So we needed 11 divisions to make that work out. Really well played. That's gonna be it for the casting today. There's I couldn't, sorry guys, I couldn't see it in the chat, but I'm seeing that Sagibati looking forward to Baya Bay. And yeah, it wasn't the best representation maybe of competitiveness in this matchup, but I think the map still has merit. And Pog was picked a lot. It's probably a bit more familiar with the recent tournaments, but still, good one. Gonna call it at that. Next stream, probably next week, if at all. Got a bit of a busy times moving ahead, but thanks to everyone for tuning in. See you around.